What are we doing today?
Well, we're back at the Traction Coffee Roastery, and we're gonna be working on my hardtail. There's something about the fall time that always makes me wanna ride a hardtail. I don't know what it is, the cooler temperatures. I just wanna get out on a non-full suspension bike. After I got my common saw, which was a little over a year ago right now, that's basically all I've been riding. And it's been a really fun bike, but I'm really missing this thing. Unfortunately, this has been hanging up for like a year and a half in my garage and has not been ridden. So we've got a flat tire here. These tires are insanely worn. The fork is completely shot. I'll show you how bad that is here in a second. It's terrible. And so we're just gonna go through and refresh this thing. I've got a whole cart full of parts over here. We've got a new fork, we've got new tires, we've got new handlebars, and we've got some Tannis Armor inserts to keep the rims nice and safe. So we're gonna start getting all this stuff installed here in a second.
And we have a Ricky Augenbaugh throwing darts for us today.
Let's see a bullseye. Oh!
Wow.
Okay, we'll take it.
I mean, 2 hit the board. That's not bad.
Okay, so first things first, we're gonna pull this fork off because we need to pull the race on this fork off and get it on the new fork. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to pound the race on, so we're going to go to a bike shop across town. But before we do that, I want to show you how terrible this fork is. And keep in mind, this fork is basically like freshly rebuilt, and I haven't ridden it since it was rebuilt. And I don't want to like throw too much shade, but I've had nothing but issues with this fork. It has fresh uppers on it, fresh rebuild, and it's doing this, which is, I mean, imagine riding this down the trail. Like this feels to me almost like Walmart bike territory. You guys ready?
Boing.
It's just straight up a pogo stick.
Oh!
That dude.
Hold on. We gotta give me
It's not good. So for comparison, this is the RockShox Lyric on my common saw, and mind you, I just had a fresh rebuild done on this, but like, that's pretty
how it's
different.
supposed to work.
So,
yeah.
And it doesn't make bangy poppy noises. So yeah, a little more confidence inspiring. So we're gonna get that taken care of.
And for another comparison, this is my rigid fork.
Basically does the same thing as
Basically
this.
does the same exact thing.
I'm throwing a RockShox pike on my hardtail here. It's 20 millimeters shorter. I had this one just laying around in the other room. So instead of spending a bunch of money, I'm just gonna put this to use. So one of the cool things about doing this build is it's bringing up a lot of memories for me. Things that really like kicked my life off in a really cool direction. In fact, it's one of the reasons we're standing here in this building right now. So when we get back from the bike shop, we're gonna sit down and talk about how this bike belongs to me, why it's so special, and really why it kicked my life off in the direction that it is. Headset race is off. I took it off in a pretty scandalous manner. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, or if there's a tool for that, or if you're just supposed to replace these. But we got it off. It looks completely fine. And now we're gonna just clean it up and then go over to the bike shop and have them hammer this on for us. Yeah, I'm excited to show you this shop. It's technically a brand new shop here in Longmont, but it's building on top of a legacy that already was. So let's go check it out. Welcome to the Hoopty Bike Lounge. This shop absolutely rules. This is REEB Cycles headquarters. Not only is it their bike shop, but this is where they build all the REEBs now. This place is really, really cool, but be careful if you come in here because not only are the bikes really cool and beautiful to look at, but they're super fun to ride, and you're gonna probably leave wanting one. So let's go check it out. Yo. What's up? That's such a bummer. Sick, thanks dude. I also need some rim tape. So yeah, not only do they build all the bikes here, but they're also powder coating them in-house. And Robbie's actually over here tacking up a bike, full suspension bike, diesel. Sick, dude. Yeah, this is what dreams are made of right here. Check out the new clunker that they're coming out with here soon. Thing is pretty sweet. And also, big shout out to the crew over at Fairdale. It's cool seeing these in here. I haven't seen this new mountain bike in person yet, but it's pretty rad. I've seen Aaron Ross riding one of these. We'll put a clip in here. He's riding this thing like a big BMX bike. Absolute animal. Like the stuff he's doing on this is so crazy. So yeah, it makes me want to get out and ride one, but I've basically got one that we're working on right now. So I need to not look at this for too long because I'll end up with one. Okay, we've got our fork ready to go. I'm gonna throw some grease on this race. We're gonna get it on the bike and start tightening it all back up. Love hanging out with the whole REEB crew over there. Everybody over there is super rad. Robbie, Tim, Jeff Lanowski, if you know him or follow him from his YouTube channel, Trail Boss, he's the absolute man and he's heavily involved over there as well. So many good people. And they're doing a lot of really cool things. Hand-built bikes right here in Colorado. Like that's a pretty special ordeal. In fact, this bike was made right down the road from here, not in that exact location, but right next to the Oscar Blues Brewery here in Longmont, where REEB initially or was originally located. So this is one of the OGs.
Speaking of, Mike shared a little tidbit with me earlier. I don't know if we can get it.
See if I can throw some light on there for you.
Murphy. That's one heck of a serial code, if I've ever seen one.
So the original welder for REEB, his name's Chris Solfrane, he's a good friend of mine. And when he was building this bike for me, as he was wrapping it up, he's like, I've got a surprise for you. And after he powder coated it, I walked in, of course giddy, because I'm getting a new bike, and he turns it over, and my last name's on the bottom with my favorite number, 69. And yeah, that'll surely bring a smile to your face when you have a bike that's essentially built just for you and then your name goes on the bottom of it. This is one that will always be with me. It's a pretty special bike. In fact, I have 2 more REEBs at home, but they're not mountain bikes. They are BMX frames, and those are probably some of the more rare REEB bikes. And again, those are very special to me. They also have my last name stamped on the bottom, and I got to design those frames, geometry up, like everything, and that was a really fun experience. Thank you. So, talking about BMX bike, we're gonna throw a BMX stem on this mountain bike because I got a pair of BMX style handlebars from another legendary hand-built bike brand here in Colorado. A good friend of mine, Sean Burns over at Oddity Cycles, and I've been wanting to pick up a pair of his bars for a really long time. They're really popular in the mountain bike space. If you've never seen them, definitely go check them out. They're absolutely beautiful, and they're a cool way to like accent either your hardtail or your full suspension bike, or heck, even a clunker bike for around town.
You want me to start deflating this tire?
Yeah, if you can start, let's do the back tire first, because we need to do rim tape and stuff on there. Yeah, this bike's kind of getting the full works right now, which is cool. Pretty excited. I think I've had this bike now for 7, maybe 8 years. This one means a pretty good deal to me. 7 or 8 years ago, I was running a coffee company called Hotbox Roasters, and that was inside of Oscar Blues Brewery, which is now in the top 6 largest craft breweries in the country. And I basically fell into that brand because I was riding for REEB Cycles at the time. They built me a BMX bike, and I was so grateful. It was so cool, such a cool period of life. And I fell into the opportunity to be a part of this startup coffee business that Dale had started, the founder of Oscar Blues. During my time at Hotbox, we launched a coffee product. It was a ready-to-drink nitro cold brew coffee in a can. And we decided that we wanted to put together a marketing initiative for that, where we lived in our delivery van and drove all over the country for 12 weeks. And basically went trailhead to trailhead, riding our mountain bikes and handing out coffee. And we partnered up with a bunch of really cool brands like REI and Goal Zero and Noon Hydration, just like a bunch of different really cool people. And we set out in the van. Well, one of the cool things about that was obviously we had to partner with REEB Cycles. That was a no-brainer. So we linked up with them and we designed these really cool graphics for the bikes, and they gave me this bike to go out there and ride. The really cool thing about going out on that van trip, marketing that cold brew, that I didn't realize at the time, is that it set my life in motion in a way I could have never expected. And that is why Traction Coffee exists in the capacity that it does today. And I'm so thankful for that. The life that I have now wouldn't have been possible if I wasn't in the right place at the right time with REEB and with Hotbox. And yeah, it's afforded me to do a lot of really cool things. And yeah, very grateful for that. So this bike will always serve as a reminder for that period of my life. And I'm really excited to get it back up and running and go out on a ride and reflect on all the things that have happened over the last 7 or 8 years that have led to right now. Also, these decals are pretty beat on here. Like you can see, the top ones are all peeling off. So I'm gonna pull these off. The down tube ones are in pretty good shape, so I'm gonna leave those. Then I'm gonna pull these back ones off just because of all the heel rub. But we're gonna leave the most important one, which is the chainstay sticker. It's ride bikes, drink beer, go fuck.
Whoa, watch your language, bud.
You know, but like in a nice way, of course. The last time I rode this bike was probably right at a year ago. We have a video on the channel, actually. It was when I went up and went with my dad for his first mountain bike ride back after he broke his femur. And literally like a mile into that ride, I don't even know if I showed it in the video, but a stick popped up, hit my derailleur, pushed it into my spokes, broke like 3 spokes. And if you ride I-9 wheels, you know how much of a pain in the butt that is, because you have to untape the rim, go in this way because they're straight pull spokes. But unfortunately what happened is I had to clip the spoke to finish riding that day. And during riding, the spoke fell in between the double wall of the rim. And I don't know if you can hear it, but it's in there somewhere. And so what we have to do is untape this rim and cross our fingers that we can get that out so it's not rattling around, driving us crazy while we're riding our bike. Oh, this is gonna be such a pain.
Everything's going so smooth except for, oh
Yeah!
my goodness.
We love when that happens. Since we're retaping the rims, I'm gonna wipe them down real quick with some alcohol just to make sure any of the stains and adhesive is gone, so we can make sure that we are getting the best seal with that new tape.
You know what time it is? It's time for the most fun part of the entire build.
For Chase to put on the tannis
Nah,
armors.
I do not volunteer myself for that.
I'm gonna jinx myself. I was gonna say I'm not gonna jinx myself, but I'm probably going to. Last time, so like 2 weeks ago, I guess it was a month ago now, when I was putting my commons haul back together before I went to Montana, I had to install and uninstall the tannis armors like 4 times. And the last time was because I didn't line my valve stem up with the graphic on the tire, and I put the tire on backwards. I got home, I was all stoked, like my bike's ready to go on this trip. I'm leaving in 12 hours. I'm showing Chase and a couple other homies, and I look down and nobody wanted to say it. They all noticed it before I did. The tire was on backwards. So
absolutely, that was the first thing
dude,
I noticed.
It was driving me so
like,
crazy.
I don't want to break this kid's heart.
So yeah, I drove back here and flipped the tire around. So I'm hopeful that I can get these on pretty quick. We'll see. We're gonna time it actually.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're gonna make it a challenge. Make sure we have our direction of rotation correct.
Started.
Okay, stopwatch is on. I'm aiming for sub 5 minutes. That would be a good time, I think. There it was.
Wow.
That's the ticket. Okay.
4 minutes.
Come on, we're so close. Okay. This is always a good spot to kind of just make sure it's not all bunched up in one spot. And also, if you're running into this, you can just make sure the tire is slid to the center. I found that that really helps, and it's not like sitting on the bead itself.
Wow.
Okay.
5 minutes and 33 seconds.
We would have been under 5 if I would have pre-stretched it. I think the next one I can get under 5. Let me stretch this real quick.
Is that cheating?
Nah. It does say on their site, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, to like leave it out of the box. Like, or I remember seeing maybe a video, it was just like a pro tip to like let these expand. So if it's not on their site or any of these other manufacturers, I mean, you can definitely give it a little stretch. It's not gonna hurt it. So cool. Well, start the timer.
Go. That's 4 minutes. Wow. 8.5 minutes.
So we're sub 15 overall. We'll take that. Better than what it used to be for me.
That's a good point. Except put the tire on backwards.
Did I? No, I did not. I put the tire on backwards.
Did you actually?
Dang it.
Did you really?
I think so.
Oh, I was just joking, dude.
Look what you willed into existence, man.
No.
Okay, well, that means one thing. We're going to look at the silver lining here. We're doing it in 5 minutes.
You get another shot. Oh, no.
You know what they say? If at first you fail to put Tannis armor on in 5 minutes, like your goal was, pretend like you put the tire on backwards so you can try again. And that's all we did here.
You don't need to pretend, though. You actually put the tire on backwards.
Well, yeah, I pretended to like not know that.
Oh.
This is just for content, you know?
Oh, I gotcha.
I totally didn't do that on accident.
What's hilarious is that you just got over a conversation about needing to double check that you put the tire on the right way because you did that with this bike.
Yeah.
And then here we are doing it again on this bike.
As my wife would say, I need to slow down.
I've heard that before too.
It's usually a pretty accurate statement.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Just double checking real quick that the tire's going on the right direction this time. I think that's one of those things. We've probably all been there. If you're brave enough to work on your own bike at home, this is definitely one of those things. It's like, just double check. Just double check to make sure.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go. Take 3. Third time's the charm. Isn't that what they say?
We only hope that that's correct.
Getting to the home straight bit with 1 minute and 20 seconds in. Two minute and 49 seconds. Wow.
Woo, we'll take that.
What an improvement.
That's what I'm saying. Once you get in the groove of it, that's why like I always say it's like you take it to a shop and they get it on so easy, but it's because those guys are doing it pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Once you do it 2 or 3 times, it's like, oh, that's how you do it?
It's almost like practice helps.
Yeah, it's weird how that
Isn't
happens.
Wild?
When it's working on your bike, when it's riding your bike, yeah, it's all about practice.
All about
now
practice.
the next tricky part is, let's set the bead. Seems good to me.
Pop, pop.
Cool.
We love it when that happens.
We love it when it goes first try. Got our stands going in. As I spill everywhere. That's why we've got coffee bags on the ground. If you ever need burlap coffee bags for your garage, for your farm, for anything, buy a bag of coffee from the Traction Coffee website, and I'll send you as much burlap as you want for free. We've got it coming out of our ears over here. But the bags are super cool. Lots of cool art from the farm that the coffee comes from. I'm getting pretty excited to get this thing out on the trail tomorrow. Decals are coming off. A little bit of a sentimentalness coming off the bike here, but it's all good. It's gonna look good without them, and we're gonna add a new sticker that's means just as much to me here in just a second. Yeah, this one's all heel rubbed.
So lucky.
Looking nice, nice and fresh. I'm gonna get some alcohol on that top tube and then we're gonna apply a new sticker. We're getting pretty close to the test ride.
Wheelie! Do a wheelie!
This is actually my favorite bike to wheelie. Okay, well, it's the moment of truth. Let's test the thing that really set us off on this mission. You remember how pogo sticky the fork used to be? Well, we've got the new fork on there. I haven't even put air in it, check how much air is in it, or checked any of the settings, but let's just see how much better it is, and hopefully it is better. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, we're stoked. I'm gonna go out in the parking lot and give this thing a little pedal through and just make sure. Oh, I need to tighten the bars. That would have been bad. Dude, this thing wheelies so good. Oh my gosh. Just doing this, like the fork is, I'm so happy right now. It definitely needs air, but yeah. I'm so excited to get some laps on it in the next couple of weeks in the mountains. And I've got a couple more upgrades that I'm really considering on this bike. Some things I've been really thinking about for it for a long time. So let's go back inside and chat about those things. I'm curious to hear what you think, and I'd love to hear your 2 cents on what direction we should go. So one of the really cool things, and one of the things that made REEB unique in the early days, was the ability to run a belt drive single speed setup on here. So if you look right here on the frame, there is a split. So you just unscrew this Allen key and the frame splits just enough for you to get a Gates carbon drive belt in through there. So my question for you is, and this is something I've been considering doing for a little while to this bike, should I set this up single speed with a belt drive? I'd love to hear what you think about that. Let me know down in the comments below. The other big pinch point on this bike, kind of pun intended, I guess, is the brakes. This thing came spec'd with SLX Shimano brakes, which are definitely not the best. This also has 160 rotors, so especially here in Colorado where everything is pretty steep that we ride anyways, it doesn't stop very quickly. So brake upgrade is coming soon as well. So if you do want to see the single speed conversion, I'll probably do a video on doing both of those things. But before then, we'll definitely get out on a ride with this bike and bring you guys along with us. So this was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for cruising with us. I'm going to go ahead and get this derailleur straightened out. This was, like I said, a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys. If you want to see more videos of us wrenching on stuff, to be honest, we're probably doing it more than we should. We ride our bikes really hard, and more often than not, we're standing right here, drinking some LaCroix and just hanging out, talking junk, and we'd love to do that with you guys. So if you want to see more videos just like this one, again, let us know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this one, make sure you hit the like button. And if you want to see more like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, and we'll see you right here for the next one. Thank you guys so much for hanging. You rule. Take care.